Back to the daily workout. I'm Angela Cripps, the MD of the Recruiting Gym, and this week is My Life in Recruitment. And I'm glad to say this morning I'm joined by Stacey Arnison of Euro London Appointments, who I have known, I think, for about 15 years for the time that you've been
Yeah,
at Euro
I
London.
think it must be, yes. I've been at Euro London for 15 years this year, and I'm pretty sure you were there from the beginning.
Yes, so this is an international company. You recruit people with languages. That's
Yeah,
the key niche that you're in, but it could be any position, couldn't it? That's
yeah,
in languages.
absolutely. Yeah, so as a company, we have the opposite offices in London, which is the office that I'm responsible for. We've got 2 offices in Germany and an office in France. But between those offices, we take care of the whole of Europe and beyond. We've recruited for some very far away locations as well. We've recruited in Australia, Singapore, Qatar more recently. So yeah, the name is quite deceptive nowadays, Euro London, but yeah, languages is at the heart of everything that we do. So every role we recruit for across multiple different industries and locations will all need a language speaker.
And I've just realised that it was your company that started off my international travel probably 15 years ago,
Ah,
because I got to work in Frankfurt, Berlin, and Munich. I think you had the 3 there,
yeah, yeah.
German, the team. So, yeah, and then I was like, "This is great. I get to travel and do the training."
Yep, exactly.
Wonderful. But this isn't about me, this is about your life in recruitment. So our first question to our guests is always, how did you get into recruitment? Because a lot of people don't normally plan it.
Yeah, and I'm no different, to be honest. And I'm gonna say what a lot of recruiters say, in that I fell into it. So it wasn't a plan. So I studied French and Spanish at university. I graduated in 2009 when opportunities weren't in a huge amount of abundance for graduates.
Mm,
And the wonderful careers advisors said, "Oh, languages, you can do anything," which wasn't really of any use at all when I didn't know what I wanted to do.
yeah.
So the good piece of advice they did give me was to put my CV online on job boards. So I actually put my CV on a job board called multilingualvacancies.com, which is still a job board that runs today. It's a fantastic job board that we use as an agency. And it's a specialist job board for language speakers and jobs requiring language skills. So I put my CV on there probably a few months before graduation, and we had a lovely internal recruiter at the time who approached me. I'd never considered recruitment. I genuinely didn't know it was a career opportunity, and I didn't know anything about it.
Mm.
But I thought, okay, I'll have a day out in London. I'll go and attend the interview. Got nothing to lose, and I never looked back. So for me, the main driver was being able to use my languages, given that Euro London specialises in multilingual recruitment. But I love the ambition of everyone I met. And I met a lot of people that, like myself, had no idea about recruitment as a career, hadn't had loads of years and years of experience, and the training was that they promised was fantastic. So I thought, I'll give it a go, and I'll see how it goes. And here I am 15 years later, not only still in recruitment, but in the same organisation. So I started off on a London-based temps desk, so hard, fast, very, very competitive recruitment.
Yeah.
And yeah, here we are.
Well, that's what I love about your story as well. So 15 years in the same
Mm,
company,
yeah,
you started as a recruiter with no experience, and
yeah.
your title now, am I right, is country manager UK? Sorry,
Yeah,
country
the
director.
country director for the UK, yeah. So now I'm responsible for overseeing all the consultants in the UK. And I think what's fairly unique about my role is, maybe it's a bit of stubbornness, but I refuse to stop recruiting as well. So a lot of the time when you climb the ladder in recruitment, you oversee more people, you become a manager, you become a director, you tend to stop doing the day-to-day recruitment because you just don't have the time, or your focus is elsewhere.
Yeah.
I'm quite stubborn in that respect, and that I refuse to stop, because I think it's important to always have your hand in recruitment and know what you're talking about.
Mm.
If I'm training recruits, if I'm, trying to help them get through a counter offer or negotiation, they need to have seen me do it, sorry. And it's all well and good going, "Oh, well, I did this in 2015," but if they weren't there to see it, then, they're not going to really pay that much attention to what I'm saying. So it is important to me to still recruit. I'm not on temps anymore. I moved over from temps after the lockdown, actually. So we needed a bit more focus on our permanent business. So I actually focus on permanent business support, HR, and sort of secretarial services now, mainly in London, but across Europe as well.
Fantastic. So yeah, that leading by example and being a role model,
Yeah, that's really important to me.
a lot of leaders forget that bit, that everyone is looking at you and emulating you and trying to get tips from what you say and what you do. So take that as a hint today. Those leaders, if you're doing something you don't want other people to see, then maybe don't do it, because you are the biggest role model for others, and that's definitely what you've been for your business as well. So thank you for that and getting involved. Now you're gonna have to take a little break, aren't you, from it?
I am, so I'm heading off maternity leave in a couple of months. It'll be my second maternity leave and my last. so I'll be back soon enough. I've obviously seen that I can come back after maternity leave and slot right back in. So that's the plan second time round as well.
Yeah, and it looks like you're working from home today as well. So that hybrid working really helps with that as well, doesn't it? Yeah. And getting things organised. Good morning to everyone that's saying good morning there in the chat. Do say hello. Let us know where you're calling from, because if you're in a different country as well, or if you've got languages, Charlotte, can we get it's multilanguages? I've forgotten it already. .com? No.
The job board that I mentioned.
Yes. Yeah.
Multilingualvacancies.com.
Multilingual vacancies.
And then our website is eurolondon.com.
Fantastic. Yes, we've got your LinkedIn in there. So if people are interested in jobs that have different things. I saw Pascal on there. He's in France. He's looking for a job at the moment. He's just finished languages. And you've got a location in Paris, am I right?
We're in Cannes. Lovely Cannes. Yes.
Someone picked that one. No. Let's get out of let's get to Cannes.
If you haven't visited Cannes, I would definitely visit. I visited for the first time last year and it's stunning.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can get some training in Cannes from there. Brilliant. Right, we're now into the good, the bad and the ugly of your life in recruitment. So what would you say is the good?
So actually, I'm going to start with the bad.
I was just thinking that in my head. I was thinking, why do we start with the good? I always like to finish on the good.
I'm just going to get the negative out of the way. Look, recruitment's not a job for everyone. It's hard work, and a lot of that hard work that a recruiter will do will go unnoticed. And it's a sales role. There's no denying that, and I think it is important to acknowledge it is a sales role. And recruitment can often have a bit of a negative image, as some sales roles do in their own industries. But if you've got a negative image, it's quite likely either you didn't quite crack recruitment, it wasn't quite for you, or perhaps you're a candidate or a client who's had a bad experience from a recruiter. And that's a shame, because there are some fantastic recruitment businesses out there, fantastic individual recruiters. And it can be quite ugly, shall we say, to kind of be in the middle of that reputation when it doesn't kind of pertain to you. So as a recruiter, you are in the middle of so many different people, all parties involved in that recruitment process. And so your relationship and your commitment to each party is absolutely key. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have that, then recruitment's going to be very, very hard for you, and you will be exposed to a lot of pressure and things will be very, very hard. So I think that's the hardest thing to train perhaps new recruits on, is that it can be tough. But the flip side of that is, when recruitment's going well, it's the best job in the world. Absolutely love it, which is why we're here 15 years later. Yeah. And the reason I personally love agency side and the multilingual element for me as a language speaker is the volume of different types of industries, locations and languages our recruiters get exposed to. And you can have that same variety in different agencies and in different industries. It just depends on what interests you. And I think that's important as well, is to obviously recruit for something that interests you, because you're going to be speaking to candidates and clients about that industry all day, every day, and you need to be excited by those opportunities as well. But the other great thing is about recruitment is there's so much progression available in it. So we were talking earlier about my role starting as a temps recruiter with no experience, and then going through to a country director. Yeah. You've got that type of progression, but also the type of recruitment you can be exposed to. I started off 2009, £8 an hour market research roles, all the way through now to kind of senior hires in HR and business support across Europe and sometimes in the Middle East as well. So, there's 15 years later, there's still more learning to be done for me. And I think that's really, really important. And that's not something you get with every career. And it's potentially something that gets forgotten about recruitment. I think recruitment, people think of a one-track thing. You're finding people for jobs and that's it. But that's not it. There's so much more to it.
That's what I loved about it as well. So I probably did about a year and a half and did 5 different sectors, each of those. So as soon as you start thinking, okay, yeah, I've sort of been here, done that, it's like, right, I can literally start again. Yeah. with all the skills that I've got about recruiting, but as soon as you move into a different market, a different sector, you do feel a little bit like a fish out of water to start with. And that challenge is there to then understand that. So we're always learning. There's always a new thing to do. And even if you don't change sector, then there's a bit of technology, whether it's AI or that's coming out, or a new legislation. I
was going to say legislation changes all the time. So you've always got to keep your eye on that as well.
Yeah, definitely. So for me, the recruitment industry, you could pretty much do any job that you want in it because it's so big. And your company, you're probably in the top 5% size wise. So although we're saying that from temp consultant through to country director, it's a big company as well. So it's not like there's only 10 of you that's there. So yeah, to be able to do that and to get to that high level really quickly is amazing. And there's not many industries that you can do that in. Fantastic. Okay. So we've done the good, the bad, and the ugly in that, haven't we?
Yeah.
And you're right, that ugly brush that we get tarred with. I saw it again yesterday on the news. That there's a scam. So I want to get that out here now, and we'll share this far and wide, because there is a scam out there at the moment for people pretending to be recruiters, pretending to approaching people that are looking for jobs. And of course they think they have a job. They then send them their bank details, they give them the job, they send the bank details to get paid, and then they scam them out of that. There is no job. They're not recruiters. They are scam artists. So this has come up on the news here in the UK, and it was £900 million that they'd already identified, nearly £1 billion that people have been scammed out of. I mean, it's just horrendous. And that is part of the ugly of the recruitment industry. Unfortunately, we have a bad reputation. People have targeted us on that. And there are such wonderful companies out there like yourselves. So do your due diligence is what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Check out that company, find out who they are, see if they've got Google reviews, if they've got testimonials online, and look a little bit deeper. If they've got 3, move a little bit further into that, because there is the potential that it's a new scam that's coming out now that unfortunately we're going to get stuck with. So that is ugly. We don't like that.
No, we don't.
But what about advice then? So if someone new coming into the industry this year, Stacey, what would be your key piece of advice for them?
So anyone who has been trained by me will know exactly what I'm going to say. Anyone who trained me would have said exactly the same. You've got to pick up the phone and speak to people, and you've got to meet people face to face. Recruitment is purely based on relationships, and there are wonderful things with technology nowadays. You cannot rely on email, LinkedIn, ChatGPT, automation to build your relationships. These sort of tools should be used to support your efforts and support recruitment, make you more efficient, but they don't replace actual people interaction, building relationships, be it on the phone or face to face. And I appreciate face to face has, become less and less since the pandemic, but there's nothing to stop someone picking up the phone. And my personal view is hiding behind your screen constantly is lazy recruitment. Recruitment is a people business. It's entirely based on those relationships and your communication. And you cannot truly know what a candidate's key motivators are by an email. You can't really tell how suitable that vacancy is for them by a LinkedIn message. And on the other side with the client, you certainly can't, challenge sort of parts of a role description that they're giving you, or negotiate or have any kind of influence on their decision or the candidate's decision, or managing that candidate's counter offer via email. It's not possible. It's not going to have the same effect. And relationships are built on trust and likability, both of which are only gained by actual human interaction. And that comes from picking up the phone. And I think people coming into recruitment they're not used to using the phone as much. People are WhatsApping all the time. They're emailing all the time. I'm very lucky. I think that 15-year spread that I've had, it was purely phone-based when I started. There was, I don't even know when LinkedIn came into my life.
15 years ago, actually. Yes, if you weren't an early adopter. Then
we weren't. I remember a good few years where we didn't have it. So I've kind of seen the benefit of it. So I know it's much easier for me to say, but then you've got to listen to people that have been there, have done that, are training you, and there's no replacement for a genuine human interaction and interaction relationships.
Well, we had Katrina Collier yesterday, and she would be standing there doing this. from there. So she wrote the Robot Proof Recruiter, and her tip yesterday was about taking that time to gather information from the client to get a really detailed job description to be able to do all of those things that you've just said. So I'm hoping this is going to build, because what we do, this goes out on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, all over the place, but the hints and tips and the advice we cut together at the end of the week. So we've had season 1 and season 2 already. So there's already great tips out there. We'll get the links to both of those, so you can go and find those on YouTube or in the Daily Workout Lite course. You can click on that, come and join us there if you've not already got a Recruiting Gym membership. It's all there to support our industry, and hearing this advice from people that have been there and know what works, works, and the fact that you're still recruiting as well. We all need to take that on board. So if you're looking back at last year and you're thinking, actually, did I hide behind my screen? Do I need to get out there this year instead? You'll be glad to hear I've got 3 client meetings today. So I am practicing what I preach. But I put my hands up. I didn't call enough people last year. We can all hide behind our screens sometimes. So let's make this the year.
Yeah, and I think people think it's quicker. I think they think, I'll just send a quick email. But actually, you're writing an email, you're sending the email, you're waiting for the reply if you get one, and then you're replying back. And that's definitely not quicker than just quickly picking up the phone. And I get you're not going to get someone on the first call, so it does take perseverance. But you get them on that call, and you'll have a much more successful relationship with the candidate, with the client, with the decision, whatever it is the call's about. Be much more effective.
Totally agree with that. Well, let's leave that on the positive then. There's your workout for today. If you were thinking of emailing, pick up the phone instead and see the impact that can have for you. Thank you so much, Stacey, for sharing your time. Good luck with baby number 2.
Thank you.
From there, and obviously the business as well. We're all looking at Cannes now.
Yeah.
Like what you did there, Cannes, Nice, and I've realised I'm going to the Olympics but Nice. Maybe I'll pop in as well. Thank you to Rosine. I wonder what a pony scheme was. Pascal had said, I've reported a scam case to Scotland Yard. A pony scheme. What's I'm going to look that up afterwards. Ponzi scheme. Yes. Okay, so I think it might be with an I, because I think it was named after a gentleman called Ponzi. Again, those sort of pyramid schemes, the trickle-down scheme, unfortunately, it's in any industry, but we'd managed to get away with it in the recruitment industry. But the fact that it's on the news now, we don't want to do there. Yes, we've got Meet Your Recruiter ebooks. So Charlotte's just put the link in there as well. Lots of help and support for people that are. So we've got support for anyone that's a hiring manager and how to actually give better job descriptions and all the tips on there. There's tips there for people that to deal with rejection, because we know that we get a lot of that as well happening. Not everyone's going to get the job. And also tips for job seekers. So if you are looking for a job there, we've got the new one from last week will be coming soon from Meet Your Recruiter, which was CV tips. So all of this help, all this advice is out there for you. So do look for it. Do come and join us. That's what we're all about here in the gym. And hearing from people like Stacey is wonderful to get that opportunity. Now, I need to say tomorrow, we're not on at 9 a.m. We're on at 3 p.m. so that we can speak to the wonderful Debbie Easterday, who's just realised that this month is 25 years in recruitment for her. So she's hit the quarter century. So we'll be hearing her story. 3 p.m. tomorrow, everyone. Get a little lay in. Fantastic. Oh, Pascal's going to write to you. Yes. So very senior person. Obviously with French. I think there might be another language in there. I'm not sure. Brilliant. Okay. Well, who knows? We might need a placement today as well.
Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you.
Speak soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.